Hi everybody, I want to do a quick video for CSC 113. This is looking ahead to the next assignment, which is the bad bot. All right, now I think this will be interesting. Okay, I want to have my GitHub repo, so if you don't have a repo, let me show you again how you would do that. I'm going to go home, make a new repository. I would call it, CSC 113. I already have one, so I need a different name. And you always want to add a README. Okay, make sure you don't have an empty repository. So you then hit Create Repository. Now I'm going to go back to mine because, like I said, I have many repositories, per semester. So if I type in CSC 113, I'm going to find the one I want to use. Okay. Now for the assignment, they want us to, or I want you to, create something here. Let me set this to Flash so you can see how it'll look for you guys. Now, if you don't want to use Flash, if you want to use ChatGPT or Claude or some other tool, that's fine. But let's try things out. Okay. All right. I'm going to provide some more prompts, but a good way to start is to say, why are we doing this? Let's call it helper. Can you help me write the system prompt for this chatbot? All right. So it's creating a file. Great. Good. This is a lot, right? I don't really want to have it talk like a Zoomer. However, I wanted to show how this works. All right, so is it giving clear vibes or is it sus? Yeah, this is getting a little rough, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to copy that prompt. Now I'm going to go over here and I'll keep things simple for you. I'm not going to use code spaces yet. So I'm going to say create new file. And I'll say this is going to be called M2 helper bot info. I'm going to call it .md. MD stands for markdown. Think of it as a text file. And I'm going to go in here and copy my prompt. Okay. I'm going to use something like some dashes to make it a little easier to see what's going on. Okay. I will copy this. Oops, there we go. Come back here and paste this down. Let's try that again. There's usually just a button too. I think I could do like share, copy. There, that works out well. There's always usually a button to copy. And it looks like it wrote it as one giant long line. That's a little bit annoying, but we'll live with that. So I'm going to say here, next steps, test out the prompt. All right. Now, your purpose is whatever you want to do. So, maybe you want to make like a bot to help with calculus or physics or a nursing class or anything you're doing. If you're not sure, then say, hey, I'm taking a class called AI Fundamentals. I have to make chatbots. So help me make better chatbots. That could work too. It's not that I'm trying to leave this just wide open. I want to show there's a lot of options. I'm going to hit commit changes and I'm going to say, okay, great. Pretend I typed that myself. I'll let my robot type it, but that's a pretty good prompt. And I'd say it's a Zoomer, so we'll see how that goes. Commit here is good. I'm going to commit changes. I have now just made a file. Okay, and here it is. And it looks a little clunky like this. It did not keep the formatting. However, I think it's still going to work. So I'm going to try a new chat, and I'm going to paste that prompt in. Okay, helper bot. Let's figure out how to write prompts. One thing you might do is figure out a way to say, what kind of learner am I? Am I a visual learner, a hands-on learner? So I fed it the prompt, and it definitely kicked in. Okay, great, good. So what do I want to do? A lot of stuff in there, then mostly mine. Okay, good, great. Okay, I'd like to teach people who are visual learners to prompt their AI tools. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely in character. So, you know, somebody might like this, somebody might not. It seems fine. Okay, so it's saying you need to have examples. It's very much following the thing I did. So let's create. I feel like saying, hey, I want you to write something here. I just decided that off the top of my head. And now it's running the prompt and it's making it. Now, I don't think this story is very Zoomer, but that means I think that it kept the persona to the chat and it kind of focused on purpose here. Missing valuable item. Yeah, I'm trying to find something. What was stolen? It was an item. That's not going to help. So it says here what happened to the item. You know, we don't know anything. Okay, it's got a little bit of lingo. Where would you want to search? It's giving a good point that if you just ask for something, the AI is really just going to make something up. But if you were to be very specific, like in this example, cool, that's pretty good. I'm going to say here, the story had an element I noticed. To help me with let's say gardening. I'm bouncing all over the place, right? I've gone from Zoomer to, so I said, I liked what you said here. Tell me more about it. And I said, getting your details, the who, what, when, where. Okay, so this looks like to me like if you ever had high school journalism, pretty useful. So that's not going to help. But I have a ficus plant. See, it's just saying if you give the specific information, what might be wrong, what could I do? So you see here, you're giving it something to work with. That's pretty good. I'll give that a thumbs up. I like that. Okay, so what I want to do is actually copy this piece. And I'm going to go back here, just make an edit to this file. So I can hit right here, add the little pencil, and go down to the bottom, and say results. I got a short story, and this is what happened when I asked about part of it. Okay. All right, so what I see here is I've left out the beginning of what I was asking. So I want to go back here and just again, you know, copy my little prompt here. Oh, I can hit edit and then control. That's good. All right, so I copied that. And I'm going to say here, a response. And I'm going to say here, user prompt. Okay. So I've kind of shown now that I started from a prompt and then I ran the prompt, got some results, and I kind of focused to a different location. So one thing I wanted to show you there is there's a lot of things that, this is going to feel weird, but a lot of things in AI are content free. That is, if you can figure out things like asking the who, what, when, why, where, no matter what the topic is, you're going to get a better result. Now that I made that change, and I'm going to say reflection. I think this actually was useful. Yes, I think somebody says bet for real a dozen times. I might get tired of it, but I'm okay with it. I'm going to hit commit changes, and I'm going to let Copilot write that, but there we go. Good. I could have written that myself. I could have just also said added more info. You don't have to get so specific, but that's a little extra piece of information. Great. Now at that point, I could really just take this file here and submit it because it shows me what I did and even has the changes. Now another thing I could do, I could say, hey, I'm going to copy all this text. And I'm going to make a brand new chat and say, hi, I'd like to make this more readable as a markdown document. That's the document. Okay. I just like to put a thing on both sides. One thing you'll notice when you're using prompts is if the prompt ended with a question, like a follow-up question, that's probably not the last thing you want the bot to see. So I just said on both sides, I want to make this more readable. And it makes it look nice. It did all the formatting. That seems good to me. And it just copied it. So because I said change the formatting, it didn't change any text. So I'll do one more thing. This is optional, but I'm going to edit the file. And I'm just going to delete the whole thing and replace it with the new version. And it does look nicer. Okay. All these little symbols like the, punctuation are just to make it look a little bit better. And I'll show you what I mean. When I hit commit changes, I'm going to just make this my same. I'm going to say fix the formatting and say thanks, Gemini. Yep. Again, you don't have to make it look nice, but if you do that, notice you can throw in some text, say, please make this good-looking markdown. I should have removed that part, right? But it says here, I'm making a chatbot. Can you help me prompt? And Gemini did the prompt. This was the helper bot prompt that it said. And then I tried to test it out. So I gave it, some discussion here, and then it gave me the response back. And then I said, hey, it's actually kind of useful. I might think about it more. I mean, what was mostly useful is the who, what, when, why, where. So now that's been edited. I just want to show you this real quick. It's not important to you guys because you can just take that link and submit it. But if I were to look at this, I think I can do here. I can actually see the changes that happened. That's not super important, but there's times when knowing why a file changed, like say you had a good prompt and it doesn't work anymore, you can go back and see the old prompts and maybe use one of the old ones. I think I'll show you again. If I go here and click history, it'll just show me the changes I made, right? Pretty useful because again, if you had tried to change the formatting and it broke, you could just revert to the old version. I'll be happy to show you how to do that. So go back here and just click on code and the file. And this link here, I'm going to open up a new browser just to show you what that looks like when you send it to somebody. There we go. This is the link you can submit to Canvas. And it's a lot to read, so any extra comments are good. But the point is you're making a bot trying to get some results, and then we're going to see if we can make it better over time. And that'll involve figuring out different ways to write what we call system prompts. So system prompt really is just the first prompt you use. Kind of sets the stage. All right, thanks a lot. I hope this is somewhat useful, and I will see you soon.